Well, hi there. I'm Joel Rissinger, president of Whole for Life. I'm also a church pastor, founding pastor of Mill Pond Church in Newington, Connecticut. I'm a father of two kids, 25 and 23, and soon to be a grandpa, I think, coming up in just a few months. So I'm excited about that too. Been married 28 years to my lovely, very bright, talented, and beautiful bride, Karen, who is a school psychologist and a partner of mine in ministry and in our business here at Whole for Life. I tell you all that because it would be really foolish for me to talk about being whole, about being complete and balanced, without sharing the rest of my life beyond just oh yeah, I'm a business person and I own this company. And I want you to know that because I want you to be that. Meaning, I want to explain to you what Whole for Life is really about and why we have decided to start this business. Matthew chapter 12, and I'm not going to preach a sermon, so don't panic if you're from a company or a secular background. I just want you to understand our foundation here. Because what we provide is, it's been beneficial and helpful to corporations as well as to churches, to people who are people of faith and people who are not. I've done consulting work in my life for companies like Johnson & Johnson, Eastman Kodak. I was a sales executive and a sales consultant for Welsh Foods. I worked with them as a client, as well as Marriott Corporation and many others. Bell Aerospace. I've pastored several churches too over the years. Whether you're a person of faith or not, whether you're a business or a church, I promise you that the foundation I'm going to share with you is applicable. But the verse that really was the inspiration for Whole for Life is Matthew chapter 12, verse 30, where Jesus is asked about the greatest commandment. And he says very simply that the greatest commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. There are four quadrants, if you will, four components of what makes us human and what makes us unique as people. But here's the problem. Here's what really frosted me when I started thinking about it. In my own life and ministry, and with most of the companies and consulting firms I'd worked with most of the people that I knew, the tendency has always been and is always to focus on maybe one or two of those four components frankly, to the negligence, to the neglect of the others. So, and maybe if we're really good, we get 3 out of 4, but hardly ever does somebody look at all 4 of those components and say, how am I doing? How healthy am I? How balanced am I? And do I need to build up any one of those, or maybe all 4 of those? And how can we help people? How can we serve people? How can we do the best in our own life? How can we help our families if we're not focused on all, holistically, what it is that makes us people and what makes us unique as people? So if you're a Christian, you want to honor God, you've got to build up and balance those 4 quadrants. Otherwise, you're not able to fulfill that great commandment. And therefore, anything else you try to do is always going to be half-hearted. If you're a non-Christian, you're in business, you want to be successful, how can you be successful if you're neglecting one of the major components of what makes you who you are? If you're a company and you want to reach your potential and the maximum profit that you could possibly reach and attain, how can you do it if you're not balanced in all areas of what you've been given, the resources you have at your disposal? So, what do we do at Whole for Life? Well, very simply, we do 2 things. One, we help you assess those 4 quadrants. We help you understand where you or your business or your church stand in those 4 areas. Secondly, once you've understood that, we provide a ton of resources to build up and strengthen all 4 of those areas, or any specific quadrant that you decide has the greatest need, or where the biggest potential is, or where the greatest deficiency is that you want to balance out and bring up to speed, so to speak. So let me break the 4 areas down a little bit more for you, and then we'll wrap up. And I would really encourage you to do 2 things. Obviously, look at our website. You're here, and I appreciate that. But I would also encourage you to call us so we can talk in person. We offer so many more tools than we even have space for on this website, to be quite honest. The descriptions of some of them, too, just won't fit in a tiny little box. We need to talk about it. And I'd love to give you a free assessment and sit down over a cup of coffee and then talk about some of the things that we do, because I think it will be refreshing and helpful, and I hope it will be a blessing to you and to those that you work with. So quickly, what are the 4 quadrants? Heart, soul, mind, strength. Well, put another way, we're talking about passion. We're talking about person or personality. We're talking about perception. And finally, we're talking about power. So those four, let me talk about them again a little bit more. Passion, your motivation. Uh, if you're a Christian, where you are in the spiritual journey, or where you are if you're not a Christian, but you're seeking answers. Your motivation in terms of Maslow's hierarchy, but beyond that too. Um, if we're talking passion, we're also talking relationships. Maybe it's an assessment of where you are in your marriage or your dating relationships, and understanding those relationships and whether they're healthy or not, where they're strong, where they're weak, what kind of tools are there to help build those up as they should be. So we're talking about assessments, first of all, as to where you are personally in terms of motivation, where you are in terms of your spiritual journey, if you're interested in that, where you are in your relationship in terms of healthy relationships or building them up, making them stronger. Then we're talking about tools to do all of that. Tools to help you use your motivation correctly. Tools to help you build up your relationships. Tools to help you take the next step in your spiritual journey, again, if you're so inclined. That's the passion category in a nutshell. Then there's the person or personality category. You need to understand the kind of personality you have. And I believe it's God-given. I believe it's at birth. You have a personality. I don't think it's bad. I think all personalities are good. They just have to be used in the right way. You have to be in the right environment in order to take full advantage of that personal style. So we provide assessments to help you see that. And then we provide some tools to help you apply your personality as you've been wired in the best way. That might be in terms of finding the right job. That might be in terms of finding the right ministry if you're in a church setting. It might be in terms of relationships you're in and how you best can work with people who are different than you on a team or just in terms of family life. Thirdly, then, now we're talking about perception, your thought life. We provide tools to help you understand whether or not you're guilty of what I call stinking thinking, uh, thinking that's unhealthy, thinking that's destructive. And what are your general thought patterns in contrast to others in your business or in your church setting or in your life? And then what can you do about that? If they're not where they ought to be, can it be changed? How can you process things like forgiveness and other things that would help you heal so that you can be running at maximum potential? And then finally, power. We try to help you understand your health and your physical body, as well as your financial resources, and then give you tools to build that up. And we have a whole host of partnerships to help people in natural ways build up their bodies in terms of exercise and delicious but healthy diets, nutritional supplements, and things that can make you stronger. A couple years ago, I was diagnosed with high blood pressure, as an example. And I tried various things to get it down. Didn't work. So the doctor put me on medication. But then I looked at the medication and thought, I don't like the side effects. You've seen these commercials, right, where they tell you all the side effects. Possible side effects include heart attack, stroke, death, agony, suffering, and torment. Oh, good. I can't wait. Give me 2 bottles. So I'm looking at those side effects and thinking, I don't want this. That's not what I want. And a friend of mine was involved in a company called the Allison Center. They had a free trial, 30-day supply of this product called HeartFast. I took it, started weaning myself off the meds, and kept testing my blood pressure. Even without the meds, my blood pressure was going down into a very healthy range. Last time I took it, having been off the meds for almost a year, my blood pressure was 120/70. I haven't had that since I was probably a teenager. I don't know, but it's great. So we partner with them. We offer their products as well as many others. So we would invite you to surf our site, but then call us or email us. Let's get together. Let us do a free assessment on you, and then talk about your organization and say, hey, can we be of help? Not only in terms of showing people where they are in those 4 primary quadrants of what makes us unique and special as people, but giving you some resources to build up and balance those 4 as well. We want you to be, just like our name implies, whole for life. Thanks for coming, and we hope to hear from you soon. Bye-bye.